The graph of g is a transformation of the function f. Which of the formulas describes g? Is it A, that g of x is equal to f of -1/2 times x in parentheses? Is it choice B, that g of x is equal to 1/2 times f of -x? Is it C, that g of x is equal to f of, and then in parentheses, -2x? Or is it D, g of x is equal to -2 times the function f of x? Well, the first thing that we can notice from f to g is we can see that it looks like a backwards check. Like it has the short side on the right and the long side on the left. Well, over here in g, it has the short side on the left and then the long side on the right. So it looks like a standard check. So it went from a backwards check mark to a regular check mark. So that means we're doing a reflection across the y-axis. So I'm going to draw out this middle step in green. So here's our middle function from f, and then we have this function in between, and then we go to g. So this reflection across the y-axis tells us that we need to have a negative inside of the parentheses. So the reflection, the y-axis, means that g of x is going to equal f of negative something and then an x after it. Okay? Therefore, we can cross out choice D. Choice D represents a reflection across the x-axis and a vertical stretch by a factor of 2. So it's definitely not D. It's not made longer. So now from this green function that we graphed to g, we can see that both sides of this are being smushed towards the y-axis. So we're having a horizontal shrink towards the y-axis for our x-coordinates. So that means that choice B can also be ruled out, because choice B is saying I'm reflecting it about the y-axis, but then I'm vertically shrinking or moving these points closer to the x-axis, and that is definitely not what is happening. Okay, so now we've got to figure out, well, is the factor inside 1/2? Like, is the b value inside 1/2, or is the b value inside -2? So in order to determine that, let's actually analyze some points. I'm first going to put down the x and y coordinates of this green middle step function that we have. So we have -2 at 2, -1 is at 1, 0 is 0, 1 is at 1, 2 is at 2, and 3 is at 3. Okay, that's again a t-chart for our green function that's in the middle. And now I'm going to make a table for g of x. So we have x, and we're going to have g of x. So here we have -1 gives us an output of 2. 0 gives us an output of 0. 1 gives us an output of 2. And this is at 1.5, or 3/2, comma 3. Okay, so I got to figure out what x is being multiplied by to get to 3. So then that way the output is 3. So 3/2 times what value b is going to give us this x input there, which is 3. So if we solve this for b and multiply both sides of this equation by 2/3, we know that these are all going to cancel out. Our b value, if I put this over 1, you're going to get 6/3, which it reduces to 2, or you can cross cancel these two 3's and then multiply straight across and you still get 2. So that means the b value in our transformation is going to be a 2, making our answer choice C. Also remember, when you're doing a vertical shrink, a horizontal shrink towards the y-axis, your b value is going to be greater than 1, and the scale factor will then become 1 over b, which is 1/2. So that makes sense. What was originally at 2 is now at -2 is now at -1. It's half of that original value. So the correct answer here is C. G of x is equal to f of -2x.